Despicable Me was first released in 2010, and the directors never imagined it would turn into such a worldwide obsession. From extra movies to accessories and cosplays, these are some of the most popular characters on the planet. Wait until you see what a real-life Gru looks like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Today we're checking out 10 Despicable Me characters in real life. Agnes. Let's start with the youngest of the bunch. You can't deny that Agnes is one of the most adorable characters out there. We're sure many can relate to her love for fluffy unicorns. In the movie, the character was voiced by Elsie Fisher, who was only 7 years old while she was working on the first movie. Agnes is an adorable 6-year-old and the youngest of the 3 sisters adopted by Gru. Just like any other 6-year-old, she has her sneaky ways of getting what she wants. Agnes tends to hold her breath until you bring her whatever she asks for. Isn't that just typical of children her age? She's also incredibly loving and has no trouble befriending practically anyone, including the vicious dog even Gru's reluctant to come close to. Agnes has dark hair that's put up in a standing ponytail and denim overalls. You'd think it would be hard to look like her in real life, but this cutie is rocking the Agnes look. From the ponytail and the red headband to the cute overalls and a yellow shirt, this child could easily play a human version of Agnes. Speaking of real-life things from Despicable Me, do you remember the book Sleepy Kittens? It's available for purchase, and it's the replica of the book that Gru reads to the girls. If you have some Despicable Me fans in the family, then this is an absolute must product to get. Edith. Edith is one of those characters you instantly fall in love with. She refuses to show that she's happy and gets a thrill from putting herself in daring situations. In the movie, she has some of the best one-liners that are usually followed by an eye roll. Edith is a 9-year-old girl with blue eyes and blonde hair. She always sports a pink beanie and is dressed in an all-pink outfit. Out of the 3 sisters, she's the one that's usually the most pessimistic and doesn't trust people straight away. But we can't help but to love her sarcastic personality and watch as Gru eventually wins over her heart. Edith is voiced by Dana Geyer, who was 13 when the first Despicable Me came on the big screen. Edith is a fun character to cosplay, and there are plenty of people out there that managed to recreate a human version of the sassy 9-year-old. Check out this girl who nailed the Edith look. To look like Edith, all you need is a pink beanie, purple skirt, pink leggings, and some snow boots. You'll also need to be extremely daring and master the art of eye rolling at adults. And you'll be able to recreate her look. Our next character is the oldest of the 3 sisters and the one that always has to keep everyone calm. She's smart and witty, and she doesn't put up with any nonsense. Margot. Margot is the older sister everyone wishes they could have. She's very protective of Agnes and Edith, but she also disapproves of Edith whenever she misbehaves. Just like Edith, she also has a sarcastic sense of humor, although she's a bit more optimistic. It took a while for Gru to win her over, and we can't blame her for not trusting the minions from the beginning. Although she's only 12 years old, Margot is very mature for her age. She can easily outsmart Gru, as well as other characters. She is voiced by Miranda Cosgrove, who is better known for her role on iCarly. To look like Margot, you have to have brown hair and put it in a ponytail. She is often seen wearing a black t-shirt with a white button shirt underneath, a brown jacket, a plaid skirt, and red sneakers. And don't forget about those glasses. A DeviantArt user who goes by the nickname Homo Bernardus decided to cosplay as Margot, and she totally nailed it. She certainly did an amazing job at looking like the older Despicable Me sister. Cosplayers really can pull off just about any look, including the one we're about to show you. Who's your favorite character out of the 3 sisters? Is it Agnes, Margot, or Edith? Or maybe it's our next colorful lady. Lucy Wilde. Lucy Wilde doesn't appear until the second Despicable Me movie. She's on a mission to take Gru out, and we don't mean out for a date. Although that is what happens after the 2 realize they are just absolutely perfect for each other, and Edith, Margot, and Agnes get a new mother. She is voiced by the talented and hilarious Kristen Wiig. Lucy is an unusual character when it comes to her looks, and she easily stands out from the crowd. Perhaps this is why it's so hard to believe she's a secret agent in disguise. She has bright orange hair and can be seen wearing a long, light blue coat that doesn't fit in with the crowd. She owns ridiculous gadgets such as a moose tranquilizer and a lipstick taser, which is probably why she's such a perfect match for Gru. Her character is a fun one to recreate, and we love this cosplayer's version of Lucy. Her username on DeviantArt is Madame Paradox Cosplay, and she seriously nailed Lucy's look. She even managed to find the same white high heels, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So we now have 4 Despicable Me real-life characters, and it's time to add a couple of villains to this colorful mix. Vector. Vector's the man with both direction and magnitude. Those were his words, of course, not ours. He's voiced by Jason Segel, and he's one of those characters you want to dislike, but can't. Vector's always trying to ruin Gru's plans, and most of the time, he's outsmarted by everyone, including Agnes, Edith, and Margot. Unlike Gru, who had a tough upbringing, Vector is a spoiled child who always gets what he wants. He has a funny look that's pretty hard to recreate. You'll never see him without his orange suit, glasses, and his bowl haircut. Although he's supposed to be a villain, Vector is a hilarious character with plenty of scenes that will make you laugh out loud. Remember the scene where he shrinks the toilet with the shrink ray and then the toilet had its revenge? His fabulous look got recreated in real life by Sherry81, a cosplayer from Germany. Yup, that's right, she's a girl, and she was able to create a realistic human version of Vector. We've covered a lot of cosplayers on our channel, and we're starting to think that cosplaying should be considered a superpower. We really want to know where she got her outfit from, because she managed to look 1,000,000 times better than Despicable Me's villain, Miss Hattie. Miss Hattie is the only Despicable Me character that no one has ever decided to cosplay. But today we'll show you how you can easily recreate Miss Hattie in real life. In case you can't remember who she is, here's a quick lowdown of everything you need to know about this gloomy character. She appears in the first Despicable Me movie, and she runs the orphanage where Agnes, Margot, and Edith stayed in before they got adopted. Miss Hattie is a parody of Miss Hannigan from Annie, so it's safe to say she wasn't made to be a friendly character. Here's what you'll need to dress as Miss Hattie. Find a purple plaid skirt that goes just slightly over your knees, grab a pink long-sleeved shirt, buy high heels, and put your hair up in a 60s hairstyle. After that, make sure you hate children and be really arrogant towards people, and you'll easily become Miss Hattie. There is a character that could very well be Miss Hattie's twin sister, as the resemblance is uncanny. Do you remember Dolores Umbridge, the strict kitten-loving professor of the Defense Against the Dark Arts from Harry Potter? Don't they totally look alike? We can't decide which one we dislike the most. Gru. And you can't leave out Gru, a self-proclaimed world's greatest villain whose plan was to steal the moon just to prove his point. He has interesting helpers, but we'll tell you all about them later. Gru is brilliantly voiced by Steve Carell, and he is one of the most interesting Despicable Me characters out there. We're sure you all know what he looks like, so here's a cosplayer that managed to recreate a real-life version of this ex-supervillain. We all know Steve Carell is a funny guy, but this might be the best thing he's ever done. Steve decided to dress up as Gru, and he managed to create the best cosplay version ever. He has the scarf, the jacket, and he definitely has that Gru look, complete with a pointy nose. He even appeared on The Ellen Show as Gru and did a hilarious interview. If there ever is a Despicable Me character in real life that deserves an award, it's Steve Carell. What do you think you'd do if you ever met the actual Gru? He seems like a funny character, but what if he'd want to freeze you with his stingray? Maybe that's why he needs our next character, who's the brain behind Gru's amazing gadgets. Dr. Nefario. Dr. Nefario charmed us all with his amazing accent and cheerful personality. He's voiced by Russell Brand, and he's just fabulous. He's Gru's so-called sidekick, but really, he just likes to create different gadgets, even if they make no sense. Remember when he created boogie robots instead of cookie robots? Or sent a minion floating up in space? He's a pretty special character, but a very fun one to recreate. Check out this picture of the entire office dressing up as Gru, Dr. Nefario, and the Minions. Those are some office goals right there. To look like Dr. Nefario, you'll need to put on your best goggles, a white doctor suit, black boots, black gloves, plaid pants, and a portable mobility scooter. Then you need to sound like Russell Brand and start inventing unique gadgets. Befriend someone that looks like Gru, and voila! You're a real-life Dr. Nefario. Some fan theories state that Dr. Nefario was Gru's father. We never know the story of his father, but people suspected it might be him, as they share similar noses. This theory got debunked with a picture of a family tree that shows Gru's father's name is Robert. Our next characters were first introduced to the girls as his cousins, but they managed to become so much more than that. Minions. The Minions are some of the most popular characters in the world. They're loud, they're obnoxious, and they have their very own language that somehow makes sense even though you don't really know what they're saying. Although you can't find the true versions of the Minions in real life because we're not yet sure what kind of creatures they are, Minion costumes exist, and these people are putting them to good use. But it's not just people who love the Minions. Check out this dog and this cat rocking their costume. These yellow characters managed to take over the whole world, and they even got their very own movie and a video game. We're sure they're not stopping anytime soon. In Despicable Me, we mainly see Dave, Stuart, Jerry, Kevin, Mark, Phil, Carl, and Josh. Some of the best Minion scenes include them laughing at Josh printing his butt, Dave getting excited and accidentally firing a rocket launcher, and the scene from Despicable Me 2, where Stuart and Dave laugh at Silas Ramsbottom's name. What can we say? It's tough not to love these yellow creatures. They're voiced by the movie's animator, Pierre Coffin, who actually gave voice to 899 different Minion characters to this day. Yes, you heard that right. There are almost 1,000 Minions out there. Are you a fan of Minions, or are you getting tired of the craze? All the Despicable Me characters together. Need a tip how to create quality family time? Spend some time creating Despicable Me costumes and convince your entire family to play a character. You think it's crazy, but this family did it, and it looks awesome. And here they are, all Despicable Me real-life characters in one single picture. Who would have thought that you could actually make a pretty impressive family portrait if you dress up as the popular movie franchise? Check it out. It's Agnes, Edith, Margot, Vector, and of course, Gru. We're very impressed by their outfits. And it seems like they really paid attention to every single detail and made the characters come to life. This family portrait belongs to Annie, who was so set on creating costumes for her children, her husband even said he'll shave his head to pose as Gru. Now that's some real dedication right there. We are completely in love with this portrait, and out of all real-life characters we've shown you today, this one is our favorite. The only things they're missing are Minions or Dr. Nefario. But since the two are rarely seen outside the house, it's safe to assume they are still somewhere out there. We're already planning how we're going to convince our families to dress up as these characters and recreate hilarious Despicable Me scenes.
We saw the Paw Patrol save the community of Adventure Bay many times. And now, we should get prepared to see them save our own world with these real-life characters. Just wait until you see the cute little Marshall working as a firefighter. If you love puppies as much as we do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. Today we are showing you 10 Paw Patrol dogs in real life. Chase. This dog works as a police and traffic cop dog, and even got a job as a spy since season 2. When an emergency happens, he wants to direct traffic so everyone can safely go home, and the other pups can take care of those who need help. Chase can also track missing animals or people with his spy gear and bring them back to safety. He is a natural leader and takes missions seriously. But he has to pay attention to cats and feathers because he's allergic. Chase also knows how to have fun when he's not working and playfully compete with his best friend, Marshall. But what does he look like in real life? Chase is a German Shepherd puppy, and he always wears a deep blue outfit with a police hat. This breed is known for being very obedient, just like Chase. This is why they often work as a guide dog for the disabled, a protective guard dog, a search rescue unit dog, or a service dog for the police canine. Now we understand why this Paw Patrol dog takes his job seriously. The German Shepherds are also very strong and courageous, just like Chase. But that doesn't mean they can't have fun when they're not working. They are very loyal and loving, so we bet these dogs like to spend a lot of time with their families. Rubble. This member of the Paw Patrol is always there to help with construction-related work. If a building is damaged, or if a train track doesn't work properly, he will be there to fix it. The youngest member of the group is really playful. He loves to do all sorts of things, except maybe coming face-to-face with a spider. But that doesn't stop him from getting dirty to do his job. Then he jumps in a bath when he sees that he accomplished his mission. Rubble also knows everything about skateboards and snowboards. But even if this puppy looks rough, he is completely the opposite. He even tends to be emotional sometimes and loves to take care of little animals. Do you think that the real-life Rubble will be as soft as he is in the cartoon? When we look at these pretty eyes, we know he is. The construction pup of the Paw Patrol is an English bulldog. And once again, we never see him without his yellow hard hat and his collar. Even if this dog can look intimidating because he is wide and muscular, he is actually friendly and docile, just like Rubble. Bulldogs are really playful and always try to seek people out for attention. There is nothing that they enjoy more than taking a nap with their owner. But this time, we know that Rubble is much more active than that when he has to work. Everest. Here comes the lady who can say that the cold never bothered her anyway. She may not be a frozen queen, but she is really strong and independent just like her. We had the chance to meet Everest, the snowy mountain pup, in Season 2. She saved Jake from falling off a snow cliff and quickly became a member of the Paw Patrol. When there's an emergency, she is always there to clear snow from the roads. Everest can use her grappling hook to get from place to place. She is always enthusiastic and hyperactive, which helps her performing rescues. But what she loves the most is probably her best friend Jake, as she hugs and licks him a lot. And we think that a real-life husky perfectly represents her, not only because they are both adorable, but also because they have the same personality. The husky is really alert and intelligent, just like Everest was when we first saw her. This is also what makes them great companions when we want to spend time outside during the winter. And even if Everest can handle the cold, she also has a warm heart. Huskies are known to be really friendly, gentle, and outgoing. They are affectionate with their family and incredibly kid-friendly dogs. Now we understand why everyone loves the snowy mountain pup so much. Rocky. When the other pups are there to save people and animals, Rocky is here to save the environment. The recycling pup always has something to solve all the problems. And he doesn't have to buy these gadgets at the most high-tech store. He just picks up pieces that could be recycled and uses them to create something better. There is no limit to the number of ideas Rocky can have and the number of tools inside his pup pack. However, he might not be the best eco-puppy to protect the ocean because he has a fear of water. But that doesn't stop him from accomplishing his mission when he has something really important to do. Is the real-life pup afraid of water too? When we see his fur, we think that this one must love to take a lot of baths. This gray Pomeranian is really intelligent. Just like Rocky always knows the smartest choice is saving the planet before it's too late. They are also both active and extroverted, which gives them the chance to meet other dogs and tell them what they can do to protect the environment. However, we think that this Pomeranian might not be into recycling. He just loves to make sure that we don't waste any food by eating everything he finds. And as long as everyone makes an effort, we think that we're going to be able to change the world for the best. Tracker. Just because you're small doesn't mean you can't achieve great things. We got the chance to meet this dog in Season 3, making him the 8th Paw Patrol pup. Tracker loves playing outside and discovering the wildlife. This is why the best place for him to live is in the jungle. Away from the city, he developed amazing hearing skills that he now uses to see if someone is in danger. Even if his ears work perfectly, Tracker doesn't trust his eyes, as he is always afraid to go in dark places. But no matter what, this little dog is really brave and will be able to face his fears when he has to. And this is one of the characteristics that he shares with the real-life Chihuahua. They are both really courageous, quick, and alert. This tiny dog often barks before a stranger knocks at the door of their home because he heard them coming. This is what surprisingly makes him one of the best watchdogs recommended by experts. So these two pups both have the same special skill. We can't believe how much energy is hidden in this lively little dog. For him, there is nothing better than being close to people and spending time with his family. And we have no problem with that, as we would like to see Tracker more often. Zuma. Here comes the water rescuer of the Paw Patrol. Zuma loves anything related to water. He is always there to rescue sea animals with his speedboat when there is an underwater emergency. And even when he is not working, Zuma has a lot of energy to spend. Living in a boathouse, he loves to dive into action and go surfing. Another fun thing we like about him is that he can't pronounce his R correctly. But laughter is the best medicine for that, and he knows it. Nothing can stop this pup, who is always ready for adventure. Unfortunately, his services are not often required, so we don't get the chance to see him a lot. This is why we hope that this real-life pup will get more time on screen. This cute chocolate Labrador is already wearing his orange water helmet and his collar because he is ready for a new mission. If you ever owned a Labrador, you know that this outgoing and agile dog loves to play in the water and the mud. This means that they often get dirty and have to take a lot of baths. Zuma is laid back and very calm, so he is really different from most Labradors. But no matter what, they are both kind, gentle, and trusting. This is what makes them the best family members, no matter how old you are. Sweetie. This little puppy seems too precious to be part of the Paw Patrol, but don't underestimate her. The real reason why she can't be part of the team is that she is a villain. The pet of the Princess of Barkingburg attempted to take over the world. Sweetie fakes being nice when she is around the princess, but she is actually very sneaky. She is not afraid of the Paw Patrol, which makes her really intimidating. Even when her plans fail and that she is punished, she puts the blame on other animals. Sweetie isn't shy to use her cuteness to get what she wants, and we think that we wouldn't be able to resist when we see her beautiful eyes. This is why we are happy to know that the real-life Sweetie is actually really nice. This West Highland White Terrier is really cute, both on the outside and on the inside. This dog is really courageous, active, and alert. These are all the characteristics you need to be part of the Paw Patrol. Even though this dog is independent, she is also very friendly with her family. So you have nothing to fear if you ever see a West Highland White Terrier. We would love to see a live-action TV show with a nice Sweetie. Maybe she could even become a hero, too. Apollo. Here comes the super pup. This is not a dog like any other. Apollo has the ability to fly. We don't get the chance to see him a lot with the Paw Patrol, but he inspires everyone when they see him on TV or in comic books. Rubble is one of his biggest fans and can even be seen dressed up like him, with his blue mask, yellow uniform, and red cape. Even if he seems invincible, the Paw Patrol one day had to save Apollo and the bunnies from the Spider King. This was the proof that no one should be ashamed of asking for help. Being together is what makes you stronger. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find a real-life puppy who can fly, but the superpower of this American White Shepherd puppy is probably being extremely cute. These dogs have a high level of self-confidence and are really courageous, which explains why Apollo is always there to save the world. The American Shepherds are also really alert, fearless, and eager, which are 3 important characteristics you need to have to be a superhero. However, these dogs are a little aloof, so don't take it personally if they like spending time alone and don't have a lot of friends. They just love people in a different way, by making sure that they are safe, just like Apollo does. Sky. She was the favorite character of many little girls until Everest joined the Paw Patrol team. Sky was the first female member of the group and was always there to keep an eye on the emergencies from above using her pink helicopter. She also had a grappling hook to transport people to safer places. Sky is always fun to watch, as no matter what she does a graceful backflip with a smile on her face. She also loves to play and participate in activities with her friends. However, she can become a little emotional, mostly when an eagle is around, but she always achieves her goal, no matter what happens. Sky is what we call a cockapoo, a Cocker Spaniel and Poodle mix. It is one of the first designer dogs, meaning that it is not a pure breed dog. Just like the Paw Patrol pup, this dog is very outgoing, loving, and friendly. The cockapoo can never have too many friends, and every adventure is a new opportunity to have fun. This is why this breed is one of the reasons why dogs are man's best friend. This cockapoo is also very intelligent, so we understand where Sky's excellent memorization skills come from. This smart pup is probably one of our favorite characters, and we would love to fly with her on her helicopter. Marshall. Last but not least, here comes Marshall, the fire pup. He is always there to check for fires and extinguish them if necessary. He can also use his ladder if a kitten is stuck in a tree. And if someone ever gets hurt, they will be happy to hear that Marshall is also a medic pup. He uses x-rays to make sure that no one has any broken bones, but seems to love bandages a little too much. He is probably the funniest of them all, as he is silly and very clumsy. He often gets too excited and ends up saying that he is okay after making a little mistake. But this is also what makes us laugh so much, so we forgive him every time. You have probably seen a Dalmatian working with firefighters before, just like this little boy. Marshall's clumsiness could be explained by the fact that Dalmatians are really energetic, playful, and active. With so much energy, we understand why they can get a little too excited sometimes. But they are also very intelligent and athletic, which explains why they can work as firehouse dogs. They are not only there to save people, but also to make the courageous firefighters smile when they are on a break. These pups are always there to save the world, one smile at a time.
Are you a fan of Teen Titans Go and cosplay? Well, you better stay tuned because we're about to show you some of the most amazing Teen Titans Go cosplay you have ever seen. Stay tuned to see a record-breaking cosplay costume that will blow your mind. If you love Teen Titans Go as much as we do, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Today, we're discussing 10 Teen Titans Go characters in real life. Beast Boy. You'd think it would be impossible for someone to look even remotely similar to Beast Boy, right? If you're not familiar with the character, here are a couple of things you should know about this green-looking superhero. As the name suggests, he's actually half a beast, half a boy, and his real name is actually Garfield Logan. His Beast Boy superpower comes from a young age when he battled an illness that could only be cured with a serum that later transformed him into a superhero. Pretty cool, right? Beast Boy has green skin, pretty normal-looking hair, sharp teeth, and a pink and black superhero outfit. And if he was an actual human being, this is probably what he'd look like. This cosplayer, who's also a dancer, singer, and a YouTuber, is known as Chris Villain. He did a fantastic job looking like the Beast Boy. From his blue-green looking hair to his outfit, this is probably the realest Beast Boy impression you will ever see. The only downside of the human Beast Boy is that he probably won't be able to shapeshift into any animal on the planet. The Beast Boy is also best friends with the next character on our list. Can you guess who it is? Cyborg. Every Beast Boy needs a best friend like Cyborg. Cyborg, also known as Victor Stone, leads the life of a superhero that's half cybernetic and half man. Although this might seem slightly unfortunate on the outside, Cyborg actually seems quite fine with it. He's a fun and very outgoing character who even manages to find a love interest, a girl by the name of Sarah Sims. He's often seen as the protector of the whole team and likes to keep his best friend in check every once in a while. Sounds like a pretty cool guy, don't you think? Wait until you see what Cyborg would look like in real life. This cosplayer's nickname is Night Mage, and he's known for recreating large and mighty characters and making them look even more powerful in real life. Check out his amazing transformation into a real-life cyborg. Considering most cosplayers make their own costumes, this is a very impressive piece of work. He totally nailed Cyborg's headpiece and perhaps made it look even better than the actual cartoon version. You definitely wouldn't want to mess with this guy when he's in his cyborg cosplay, would you? It's almost hard to believe that such a mighty-looking human machine is so friendly and protective. But that's precisely why Teen Titans fans love Cyborg. Robin. Teen Titans Go wouldn't be the team they are without their leader, Robin. Known by his real name, Richard Grayson, Robin is Batman's BFF, and he's nicknamed as the Boy Wonder. As the leader of Teen Titans, Robin is one of the bossiest characters on the show, but he does have a soft spot for our next character. Can you guess who it is? Cosplaying as Robin looks like it's a lot of fun, and this DeviantArt user, nicknamed Takuya Cosplay, definitely nailed looking like Robin. Robin has black hair, a black and white mask to cover his identity, a yellow and blue cape, and a green and pink bodysuit with a letter R on his chest. This cosplayer really did an amazing job, and we bet he had a lot of fun getting into Robin's bossy character. We're very impressed by his belt, which looks to be put together by hand, much like the rest of his outfit. Throughout the DC Comics universe, Robin gets replaced by several characters. The very first remains Richard Grayson, followed by Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Damian Wayne. Do you have a favorite Robin? Ours is probably Tim Drake, also known as the Red Robin, and he even makes a slight appearance in one of the Teen Titans Go episodes, Starfire. And here's the girl Robin is obsessively crushing on throughout the Teen Titans Go series. Starfire's story is quite impressive, but to keep it short, she was a princess who then became a slave, then became a warrior, and is now known as a superhero. This empowering character shouldn't be underestimated, and she's one of the most beloved Teen Titans Go characters yet. This Starfire cosplay belongs to a DeviantArt user, Queen Caffeine, and it's pretty spot on. The original Teen Titans Go Starfire has long pink hair, big green eyes, and a purple outfit. And it looks like this cosplayer managed to recreate Starfire to a T. What do you think? Would you add something else? Starfire is Robin's love interest, and she finally becomes his girlfriend in the movie Teen Titans: Trouble in Tokyo. We're very impressed this cosplayer was even able to recreate Starfire's amazing eyes and put this much attention to detail on her outfit. And this superhero princess doesn't only have the looks, she's also incredibly powerful. Starfire's power is energy absorption, energy blasts, and she has a pretty impressive combat skill. But one of her coolest powers is being able to learn a language through physical contact. Starfire learned English during her romance with Robin. Trigon. Trigon is a very powerful demon and the father of another eye-candy female character in Teen Titans Go. He has 6 eyes and he's never up to no good. His primary mission is to make everything negative rule the Teen Titan world. Sounds pretty intense, right? Well, he might be one of the most intense-looking characters we have ever seen. But his Teen Titan version is kind of cute if you're into that sort of thing. Trigon is strong, and his powers include superhuman strength, regeneration from absolutely nothing, super speed, flight, telekinesis, and much more. He's definitely someone you don't want to come across, but he also does have a weakness, and it seems to be his very own arrogance which blinds his focus. We bet Trigon would be a fun character to cosplay. Check out the human version of Trigon on the right. This guy made it seem that recreating a demonic character with horns, 6 eyes, and a red body is super easy. And he's even joined by the real-life version of his daughter, whom we will talk about next. Raven. And here she is, one of the most popular characters of the whole series. Do you agree with this statement? Let us know in the comments who you think deserves to be the most popular Teen Titans character. Raven, Trigon's daughter, is one of the most interesting characters ever. She's trying to control the negativity she got from her father, but in the end, she's still on the team of these young superheroes. Raven often comes across as sarcastic and mysterious, but she stands up for what she believes in and doesn't give in to what her father wants to make of her life. Her character is such a popular role model. You can find plenty of Raven-related cosplayers out there, but this is one of the best we've discovered. This cosplayer's nickname is Simrel, and her cosplay as Raven went viral on Reddit. She looks perfect in her mysterious blue cloak, blue hair, and a black outfit. Check out this person that got a very awesome-looking Raven tattoo. What do you like or dislike about Raven? Make sure you let us know in the comments below. We'd love to see your opinion of this witty character that made us laugh out loud with her sarcasm. Blackfire. Beast Boy, Cyborg, Robin, Starfire, and Raven are the main characters of Teen Titans Go. But now, let's have a look at some of the characters who also deserve mention. Blackfire is Starfire's sister, who appears in the show for just a brief moment, but she is otherwise quite present in the DC Comics world. As her name suggests, Blackfire is a total opposite from her sister. She has long, dark purple hair and much darker, although her outfit is equally as cool. Her powers include super strength, stamina, durability, and just like her sister, she can also project energy from her hands. For a character that doesn't really have such good intentions as Starfire does, she sounds pretty cool. In fact, she's so cool. Some people decided to try out dressing up as Blackfire in real life. This DeviantArt user is called Chisai Kai, and we believe her Blackfire cosplay might just be the best one yet. Check out that long purple hair and that fancy outfit that could very well look like the real deal. Blackfire gets her sister in trouble on a regular basis. If you're a fan of the series, you probably remember when she dressed up Starfire as herself, pretending she wants to be her twin. In reality, this little act got Starfire into huge trouble. She means business, and so does this awesome cosplayer. Terra. Terra briefly appears on a Teen Titans Go episode called Terra-ized that's similar to the original plot of Teen Titans. Terra is a Latin name for land, and this is why Terra holds powers that allow her to control the earth and minerals. She turns out to be a pretty tough character in the DC Comics, who's even able to survive being immersed in lava. Her storyline changes in every series, and during her brief appearance in Teen Titans Go, she pretends to be romantically involved with Beast Boy to get to the team's secret files. Her looks make her a pretty fun character to cosplay. This cosplayer goes by the nickname of Alice in the TARDIS, and she did a fantastic job at portraying what Terra might look like in real life. Terra has long blonde hair, a black top, yellow shorts, and brown boots. In Teen Titans, Terra raises a lot of fan theories that she was a very misunderstood character who didn't know how to make friends and just wanted a place to belong. She's probably one of the least favorite characters on the show, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have fans who want to recreate her looks in real life. Well, Terra wasn't the only character people have mixed feelings about. Ravager. Much like Terra, Blackfire, and Batman, Ravager is just a minor character in Teen Titans Go. But she comes with such an iconic look, we just had to add her to this list. Ravager is one of our favorite characters from the series, and although she has a minor part in Teen Titans Go, she's one of the most powerful characters ever. Her real name is Rose Wilson, and she's a martial arts expert who's also skilled at combat. She has many enhanced abilities that make her a super soldier, and she has the incredible power of precognition, which allows her to predict the moves of her opponents. Her unique look consists of long white hair, an eye patch covering one of her eyes, and an orange, black, and blue outfit. A cosplayer who goes by the name of Megan Coffey did an amazing job at recreating a real-life Ravager. Check out this excellent picture of her holding two fire swords like a complete pro. What do you think? Does this compare to the DC Comics version? Ravager might not be a very lovable character. And while she might not be on the good side, she is hilarious with her witty remarks and sarcasm. Batman. All right. We can't talk about Teen Titans without mentioning Batman, can we? He's very close to Robin, but he very briefly makes a few appearances in Teen Titans Go. One of the episodes includes him getting pied in the face by Robin. Batman is a very fascinating character and one of the most popular DC Comics superheroes ever. You can probably imagine how many Batman cosplayers are out there, right? But there's only one that was able to set an incredible cosplay record. The Guinness Gamers Edition 2017 showed off a unique Batman cosplay suit made by an Irish special creature effects expert, Julian Checkley. This amazing suit consists of 23 brilliant gadgets that include video screens, projectors, a UV lamp, bat cams, and more. Here's an even more epic fact about this creation. Some of these gadgets were made using a 3D printer. How awesome is that? We bet there are a lot of cosplayers out there who would love to get their hands on this awesome suit. Speaking of Batman, did you know that Batman is an actual city in Turkey? It was named after an ancient unit of measure and had, unfortunately, nothing to do with this iconic superhero.
Some kids just have a certain look about them. kind of like you've seen them before, we found 10 kids who totally look like Disney characters. The last one on our list is the most iconic Disney lookalike ever. Stay tuned to find out who it is. If you like Disney as much as we do, subscribe to the Things channel to get up-to-date videos on all things Disney, and click the thumbs up button if you liked this video. Now, here are 10 kids who totally look like Disney characters. Linguini from Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is a story about a young dreamer who has high hopes of becoming a chef someday. The only problem is, he's a rat.
And rats aren't usually welcome in restaurants. Thankfully, Remy has the help of an up-and-coming cook by the name of Linguini. Together, they create dishes that Paris falls in love with, all while winning over the toughest critic in the city. Well, you're not going to believe how much this kid looks exactly like Linguini. From the hair, to the nose, to the smile, the resemblance is spot on. Seriously, if they ever make a live-action version of this film, they should call this kid in for an audition. Russell from Up. There has never been a more unlikely pair than Russell and Mr. Fredricksen from the movie Up. From the beginning, Mr. Fredricksen was grumpy and distant from the young scout, but the little guy was never swayed. Well, and he was pretty much stuck on the old man's porch when the house took off with all those balloons. Still, the two helped each other be better versions of themselves, all while saving a weird bird named Kevin, who was really a ladybird who had a bunch of babies. Well, if there was a look-alike contest, this kid totally nailed it. He even got the sash with all the merit badges sewn on. Flash from Zootopia. Who can forget Flash? He's the sloth that Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde needed to get information from at the Department of Motor Vehicles. Side note, that's a hilarious commentary on the pace over at the DMV. This sloth is a hilarious opposite to Judy's fast-talking high energy.
We really thought her ears were going to explode when Nick told Flash that joke.
This is a totally random reference, but it's too funny not to point out. Check out this girl who looks almost identical to Zootopia's Flash. She has the same facial expression and everything. Did someone just tell her a joke? Hero from Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 was an incredible film about the triumph of a boy genius and his healthcare robot after suffering the devastating loss of his brother. Everyone loved the superhero elements of this film, and fans absolutely adored Baymax. It only makes sense that young fans would want to look like Hero and maybe even invent like him too. Enter this kid. Okay, sure, that hair is probably a wig, but look at the little dude's face.
It looks like he was plucked directly out of the movie and dropped into the real world.
Our question is, can this guy invent microbots too? Jack Jack from The Incredibles. Jack Jack is making a big splash in The Incredibles too. For such a little baby, he sure does have a lot of big powers. This kid can shoot lasers out of his eyes, turn into a heavy lead ball, spontaneously combust, and turn into the weird purple monster guy. But his biggest superpower has got to be cuteness. Just look at him. Well, as it turns out, a blogger from Utah has a baby that looks exactly like Jack Jack, right down to the cute little hair point on top. Danny Christensen said his co-workers pointed this out, and he couldn't agree more. Pinocchio. Alright, we know that this is a Halloween costume and is intended to make a child look like her favorite Disney character, but it's just too cute not to mention in this list. Introducing the real live version of Pinocchio. This little girl has the hat, the red circles on her cheeks, the big blue bow, white gloves, and strings on her hands. We'll admit, anyone can pick those things up at a costume shop, but what you can pick up is the hair, the blue eyes, and the wide-eyed expression of wonder on her cute little face. Jiminy Cricket. We've got to say, there are a lot of infants who look like they're about 90 years old, but we came across one that actually looks like a beloved Disney character.
They're both short, well-dressed, and hopeful about life. So who do you think this little guy looks like?
We think he looks a lot like Jiminy Cricket. They even have a similar expression on their faces. Do you think this little dude is also going to convince a puppet that he is its conscience? Or maybe he's just a cute bow tie wearing baby we found on the internet. Merida from Brave. With her unruly hair, her strength, and her defiance, Merida won the hearts of young girls all over the world. She's a very unique princess and way ahead of her time. She can shoot a bow and arrow, and she loves adventure. We found one girl who really resembles this strong, fiery princess. princess. This young girl's mom couldn't help but snap and share this pic of her little girl. She compared it side by side to a picture of Merida, with the caption saying she thinks her daughter looks like Merida from Brave. We couldn't agree more. Our question is, just how good is she with a bow and arrow? Andy from Toy Story. Andy is the beloved little boy from the Toy Story movies, who all the toys long to be with forever. All the characters have his name written on the bottom of their shoes. Andy loves and plays with the toys for years until it's time for him to go to college. Then he must decide what to do with his toys. The kid in this picture must have been told a bunch of times that he looks like Andy from Toy Story 3. Otherwise, he wouldn't have posed in the exact same pose as this frame from the movie. Although the kid looks a bit too melancholy to be Andy. Smile, kid! You've got a Woody and a Buzz doll! Walt himself. This has got to be the best thing we've found on the internet in a while, and we spend a lot of time on the internet.
This little boy's mom posted a picture of him saying that she told him he could be any Disney character he wanted on their family trip.
He chose the most iconic of them all. Seriously, give this kid a medal. Just look at that determined, hope-filled look on this kid's face. He is probably inventing the theme park and movie franchises of the future right now. Way to go, little guy. We hope you accomplish all your dreams.
If you have a fascination with cartoons, you're going to love this video. We've gathered up some photos of a few of the most popular and lovable cartoon animals and their real-life twins. You'll definitely have to do a double take when you see these pictures. Just wait until we show you the photo of the real-life cast of 101 Dalmatians. It's absolutely epic. If you're new to our channel, click the red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. Today, we're showing you 10 amazing photos of cartoon animals in their real-life version. Simba. As one of the top-grossing Disney films, The Lion King has made over $300 billion at the box office. There's a reason why this film is popular, and it all has to do with its relatable characters and its heartwarming storyline. Everyone immediately fell in love with Mufasa, the strong, playful, and kind-hearted father to Simba. When Simba was first born, the baby cub had golden brown hair and big black eyes. He was absolutely adorable, don't you think? What would you think if we told you there was a real-life version of baby Simba? Well, guess what? We found this picture of a baby cub that looks a lot like the Disney character. This little lion not only looks like Simba, but we bet he's strong-willed, energetic, and curious too. The only thing missing is the real-life version of Mufasa, Scar, and Nala. Wouldn't it be amazing to see the Lion King recreated using real animals? We know it would probably never happen since animals of the wild deserve to be left unbothered in their natural habitats, but it's still fun to think of what a real version of the Lion King would be like, don't you think? Scooby-Doo. The first episode of Scooby-Doo premiered all the way back in 1969. Even though it has been decades since the show was released, the main character is still as popular now as he was back then. The animated series has had several spin-off shows, made-for-TV movies, and feature films. What makes Scooby our favorite old buddy is his adorable voice, his loyalty, and how protective he is of his nephew, Scrappy-Doo. Scooby is the type of dog we all wish we could have in real life. We're a little disappointed that he's only a cartoon character. How about you? Well, not so fast. Check out this photo of a Great Dane that looks a lot like Scooby. He even has the distinctive black spots on his fur and a similar body shape just like the animated character. Great Danes are huge dogs, just like Scooby, but they differ in one major way. Scooby sometimes gets scared really easily, especially when there's a ghost or a monster lurking around. And Great Danes tend to be courageous, and they're never timid in the face of danger. But aside from those differences, these two are definitely twinning. Dory and Marlin. The world didn't realize how much it was absolutely in love with fish until the 2003 release of Finding Nemo. In the movie, the fish Dory helps Marlin on a vast search through the ocean to find his son Nemo. Dory proved to be a good companion on the journey, although her short-term memory loss stood in the way of her remembering Nemo's name. But her optimism was infectious. With her bright blue color and yellow fins, she definitely stands out on the big screen. Marlin is a bit smaller than Dory, but that doesn't mean he's any less powerful. Throughout the film, Marlin finds the strength and wisdom within himself to search through the ocean and bring his son back home. With so many species of fish in the world, it's no surprise that we found two that look exactly like Dory and Marlin. Are you ready to see them? Here they are! This is an actual photo of real fish inside an aquarium. The big blue one looks a lot like Dory, and the smaller one looks exactly like Marlin. Disney needs to hire these two for a Finding Nemo live-action remake ASAP. Bambi and Flower. Can you believe it was back in 1942 when the world was first introduced to Bambi? It didn't take long for generation after generation to fall head over heels in love with the main character. In the film, Bambi is in a bed of colorful flowers. He stumbles upon a skunk, and he mistakes him for a pretty flower. He then gives the skunk the name Flower, and along with Thumper, the three animals become instant friends. When Flower falls hard for a female skunk named Miss Skunk, the two become an item and have a child together. They decide to name their baby Bambi in honor of the main character. To name his child after the deer is proof that these two are truly BFFs. This photo from the film shows the moment when Bambi and Flower first made contact with each other. Aren't they adorable? Now, are you ready to see the real-life twins in action? Voila! This is a photo of an actual deer getting up close and personal with a skunk. The deer looks so much like the animated character from its wide eyes and its coat of brown fur with white spots. What are your thoughts on the real-life Bambi and Flower? Gus. Most people are afraid of mice, unless the mouse is Gus from the movie Cinderella, of course. Aside from Mickey Mouse, Gus is definitely one of the most favorite mice in the history of cartoons. He's a bit tiny in size, but that doesn't mean he's lacking courage and determination. When Cinderella is threatened by anyone, guess who always comes to her rescue? It's Gus, who never hesitates to throw up his fists to fight for the Disney princess's honor. We just love this photo of the animated character. He's doing what he does best, devouring some cheese. And how could you not love his two buck teeth? They're perfect for gnawing on his favorite snack. If you thought there could never be a real-life mouse that looked exactly like Gus, well, think again. We're about to show you a picture that will make your jaw drop. Are you ready? Let us introduce you to the real-life version of Gus. He may not be the same color as the Disney character, but check him out. He looks so sweet and innocent, and he's going to town on that piece of cheese. 101 Dalmatians. Calling all Disney fans, cartoon enthusiasts, and animal lovers. 101 Dalmatians contains all of these elements, and it really makes for an awesome animated movie. The Disney film is all about a litter of puppies who belong to their parents, Pongo and Perdita. Sadly, they're kidnapped by a villain, Cruella de Vil. In the film, we get to learn more about the personalities of each dog. Perdita exhibits many of the traits that are found in human cartoon characters. She's classy, elegant, and very well-spoken. She's definitely what we would call a warrior, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to fight for her family. Pongo is the complete opposite. He's very playful, a little bit goofy, and easygoing. But together, they make an awesome pair, and their intense love for their puppies is undeniable. Now, we're about to show you a real-life Pongo and Perdita. Are you ready? Ta-da! Here they are! These two Dalmatians look so much like the Disney characters, right down to their collars. One is decked out in blue, and the other dog is wearing a red collar, just like the two animated characters. What do you think? Are these two dogs the carbon copies of Pongo and Perdita? Dumbo. This just might be one of the most adorable pictures we've ever seen. This is a photo of Dumbo, the high-flying elephant with a childlike personality. The Disney character is innocent, a bit naive, and very playful. It's so easy to fall in love with this character, especially when you see this photo of him as a teeny tiny baby. Doesn't he look so innocent? We just want to pick him up and cuddle with him forever. If you've been to the zoo or if you've gone on an African safari, you've probably seen a real-life baby elephant before. But we guarantee you've never seen one just as cute as Dumbo until now. This little elephant is Dumbo's long-lost twin, don't you think? They have the same big floppy ears. And this real elephant seems to be just as cheerful, joyful, and fun-loving as the animated character. The only thing missing from the real-life Dumbo is his magic feather to give him the ability to fly. Bolt. Bolt stole our hearts when he was first revealed in his self-titled movie back in 2008. In case you're not familiar with his story, we'll tell you a little bit more about his background. The Disney character was adopted by Penny when he was just a little puppy. He grew up on a TV set, and he played the role of a superhero puppy. When he escaped from the film set, he soon realized that the powers he thought he had weren't real after all. When it came to the design of the character, Disney animators may have received inspiration from a breed of dog called a polar bear white German shepherd. Bolt has the same white glossy coat of fur and the same pointy ears that stand straight up on his head. If you're not convinced that Bolt is truly a German shepherd, just check out this photo of his real-life animal twin. Looking at these two photos side by side is more than enough proof that the pup is actually living among us in the real world. Even though they look almost exactly alike, who do you think is cuter, Bolt or his real-life animal twin? Timon and Pumbaa. Can you name a more iconic duo than Timon and Pumbaa? Yeah, neither can we. These characters from The Lion King made us LOL with their hilarious jokes. Every time they appeared on the screen, we knew they were going to say something to make us burst out into laughter. When it comes to their appearance, Timon has the typical features of a meerkat. He has a thin and lanky body, a long tail, and various shades of brown fur on his body. Pumbaa, on the other hand, is a brownish-red warthog with a huge pink snout and squinty eyes. Together, this comedic team of characters is set to appear in the live-action remake of The Lion King. We're super anxious to see them on the big screen, but this photo of their real-life twins will hold us over for now. Look at how cute this warthog is! Even though the meerkat appears to be having a rough day, he looks pretty adorable too. The real-life Timon and Pumbaa are far from best friends. Perhaps they could bond over the fireflies in the skies, just like the movie characters did. Do you like the cartoon characters or the real-life versions of Timon and Pumbaa better? React in the comments section down below. We can't wait to see what you have to say. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh has a very long history that dates back to 1926. The world was introduced to the bear through a story written by an author named Alan Alexander Milne. Many of the characters in the original story were inspired by real-life people in the author's life. Christopher Robin, Pooh's BFF, was named after the author's son, and while growing up, the author's son had a teddy bear which he named Winnie. The bear was named after a real-life bear that had been adopted as a cub by a Canadian soldier during World War I. Okay, that's enough of this history lesson. Let's get into the photos, shall we? This picture shows Pooh in all of his adorable glory. He's wearing his signature red shirt, and there's a purple butterfly just hanging out on his nose. Now, are you ready to see the real-life version of Winnie the Pooh? Check him out! This photo of a brown bear with a butterfly on his nose looks a lot like the drawing of Pooh. They almost have the same expression on their faces, don't you think? Are you a huge Winnie the Pooh fan?
Who lives in the pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. Get ready because we're about to show you some of the best examples of SpongeBob SquarePants characters in real life. SpongeBob had us cracking up, so make sure you watch this video until the end to see it. Now let's explore SpongeBob SquarePants characters and their real-life lookalikes. Mr. Krabs. Let's start with a character you can't help but secretly love, even though he doesn't really have the nicest intentions. Eugene H. Krabs, also known as Mr. Krabs. He's a greedy, money-obsessed restaurant owner, but even though he loves money, he avoids spending it as much as possible. His Krusty Krab restaurant features the famous burger called the Krabby Patty, which often gets questioned on his formula. While we're at it, here's a real-life Krabby Patty, and we bet you want to eat one right now. Since Mr. Krabs is an actual crab, this is what he'd look like in real life. We can definitely see the resemblance, but Mr. Krabs has more lookalikes than just animals. The internet pointed out that Clancy Brown, who actually voices Mr. Krabs, is the best real-life version of this famous crab character. We hope Clancy's not as greedy as Mr. Krabs, though. Did you know that Clancy voiced the character for 15 years? Clancy even joked that as he's getting older, he finds more and more similarities to his crab character. He still has a long way to go before he starts developing claws, red skin, and crab eyes. He was also asked about the secret Krabby Patty formula, but refused to give any information on what makes those burgers so delicious. He really is the best real-life version of Mr. Krabs. Pearl Krabs. Since we started with Mr. Krabs, it's only fair to talk about his daughter, Pearl. Even though her father refuses to spend his money, Pearl does that for him. She doesn't believe in saving and prefers maxing out his credit cards. We're not quite sure how Pearl became Mr. Krabs' daughter in the first place, considering that she's a sperm whale, which means that her mother is probably a whale too. So here's what Pearl Krabs would look like as a real-life sperm whale. Sperm whales can be up to 59 feet long and weigh up to 45 tons, which is pretty impressive. A sperm whale is the same size as a school bus. Much like Pearl, sperm whales also have almost square-shaped foreheads, although they're much more rounded and make sense when you see the size of the thing. Unfortunately, real-life sperm whales don't wear cheerleader outfits, and they don't have a heart symbol instead of their nose. This feature is only much more highlighted with Pearl. Pearl is voiced by Lori Allen, who voiced several minor characters in the movies Despicable Me 2, Toy Story 3, and Inside Out. Lori herself doesn't really resemble Pearl, but she admitted she had an absolute blast playing a bratty teenage whale character.
If you want to watch just one more video, the Premium is the platform where you should go. Get early access to videos from The Things, The Taco, The Trendy, The Richest, and many other great channels in one place with ad-free browsing. Click this link to sign up for the Premium and get ready to binge watch videos from your favorite channels.
Mrs. Puff. Mrs. Puff teaches the residents of Bikini Bottom how to drive. We've learned to stop questioning why these characters drive actual cars underwater. It's just cartoon logic. Mrs. Puff is a paranoid pufferfish who absolutely loathes SpongeBob. Don't blame her, he's her worst student and just can't seem to pass his driving test. Here's what a pufferfish looks like in real life. Pufferfish inflate when they want to run away. Often there's no actual reason to do so. Perhaps this is why Mrs. Puff is such a paranoid character. They're also pretty toxic. A single pufferfish can take out 30 people. There are definite similarities between Mrs. Puff and an actual pufferfish, but we think there are two humans out there who perfectly fit her description. First is Donald Trump, who basically looks like her. Don't you think the two share a similar haircut? And then there's the lips, the face, the look. The two really make a perfect match. And the second is the world's most infamous dance teacher, Abby Lee Miller, who is known for her mean teacher role on the hit TV series Dance Moms. We're sure Mrs. Puff and Abby Lee would likely have some interesting conversations about their students. Although we're not sure if Mrs. Puff would actually be able to handle the savage that is Abby Lee Miller. Gary the Snail. Gary made us all want to rethink our domestic pet choices and go for a snail instead. He had similar mannerisms to a cat and can sometimes let out an odd meow. This sea snail comes with a unique pink shell, which makes him instantly recognizable. A real-life Gary the Snail would be a typical sea snail with a hard shell. This shell actually protects them from their predators and is so hard, no one can actually really bite through it. They're free to move as slowly as they want, without ever being in a life-threatening situation. Pretty clever, right? While sea snails mainly live in the ocean, we also know of regular snails, like this Gary lookalike, which roam around the land. Snails often are the symbol of laziness, but these little animals are pretty determined. Think about it. Would you be willing to move that slowly just to get to your destination? Or would you just give up? Gary the Snail is voiced by Tom Kenny, who's also the narrator of the Powerpuff Girls as well as the actual SpongeBob SquarePants. We'll talk about him later because this part of the video is all about the cute-looking meowing Gary, the sea snail. This real-life Gary is part of the thing called snail art. Artists have used snail shells as canvases for years and give these slow-moving creatures a unique makeover. Squidward. Squidward and Mrs. Puff have one thing in common. They both have a strong dislike for SpongeBob and are too tired of all his shenanigans. We feel you, we really do. Squidward Q Tentacles is the cashier of Krusty Krab restaurant, and he absolutely hates his job. Although you might think Squidward is an actual squid, he's not. He's been confirmed that he's an octopus. A lot of fans were blown away by this statement, but the fact was actually confirmed by the creator himself back in 2005. 2 of his tentacles were dropped to make it easier to animate, which also happened with Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Check out this surreal picture of what Squidward would look like in real life. This illustration belongs to the website Freaking News and is definitely bringing a different perspective to this grumpy resident of Bikini Bottom. Did you know that octopuses are actually super old? The first octopus fossils were discovered to belong to an animal that's almost 300 million years old. No wonder Squidward's so grumpy. He's probably experienced thousands of SpongeBob-like creatures during his time. Squidward is voiced by Roger Bombast, who's actually the perfect human lookalike for this grumpy octopus. Roger also voiced several other additional characters in some of your favorite cartoons. Roger was actually the one who evolved Squidward into a sarcastic character you know today. Plankton. Plankton is one of those antagonists you just can't help but love. He's absolutely tiny, but that doesn't stop him from trying to find out the secret formula behind those Krabby Patties. Of course, he always fails. And we love watching him come up with new ways to trick the restaurant into giving him the information he needs. Most people dismiss the small creature because of his height, but he proves again and again that your height should never stop you from getting what you want. Plankton naturally doesn't have the kindest looking features, but neither does his real-life version. Plankton in Greek means wanderer. Sea planktons usually vary in size, but most aren't bigger than an inch, similar to our plankton in SpongeBob. These creatures are known to turn light into energy, and they're one of the biggest food sources for other much bigger sea creatures. Although Plankton's looks in SpongeBob are much more defined, a sea plankton definitely has some similar features, including the tentacles. Of course, you will never see a real-life Plankton speak, or even care about things like Krabby Patties. Plankton is voiced by the director of SpongeBob, Mr. Lawrence, who also voiced Filbert Turtle in Rocko's Modern Life, Painty the Pirate. You know we have to pay tribute to the character that starts off the entire show. Painty the Pirate, also known as Captain, starts off the theme song that many can't get out of their heads. Once you hear, "Are you ready, kids?" you just have to sing along to the rest of the theme song. Painty has appeared in every single episode of the TV series. We bet SpongeBob fans can instantly recognize him in any given situation. But there are also SpongeBob fans who get the extra mile and recreate Painty in real life. Check out this incredibly awesome cosplay of Painty the Pirate. We can't even imagine how many times this guy had to sing the theme song. We also occasionally see Patchy the Pirate replace Painty, but these two aren't the same people. While Patchy's character belongs to the voice actor of SpongeBob, Painty is voiced by Patrick Piney. Patrick is known for voicing Cyclops in Hercules, and he was even the pizza delivery guy in Toy Story. We wonder if he ever gets tired of being asked to sing the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. But then again, how could you ever get tired of hearing the opening, "Are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain!" You just can't help but sing along. Sandy. But let's go back to the main characters of the show. Sandy Cheeks is a squirrel that somehow manages to live underwater in her astronaut suit. She has a super heavy Southern Texas accent, and she's one of the most intelligent and outspoken characters on the show. While many others on our list tend to be naive and don't really think things through, Sandy is a talented scientist who's very athletic and fit. It's highly uncommon for a character to enjoy both sports and science, but Sandy proved us all wrong. Check out this totally hilarious real-life recreation of Sandy in the world of Bikini Bottom. Speaking of squirrels, did you know that the squirrel species grow up to be 36 inches, but their average size is only slightly bigger than a teacup? They bury food in the fall to prepare for the long winter, but the truth is, they bury so much of it they can barely recover all their treats. We don't really see Sandy act like a typical squirrel, though. She's best friends with SpongeBob and somewhat tolerates Patrick. But when you're as intelligent as Sandy, characters like Patrick do actually get on your nerves. Sandy is voiced by Carolyn Lawrence, who's still best known for her iconic role as the intelligent squirrel who hangs out with a sponge. Patrick. So let's take a moment to talk about the character that can sometimes make you pull out your own hair as you watch him solve problems. Patrick's questionable intelligence often brings the fun element to the show, but sometimes we just can't help but worry about his well-being. This pink cartoon starfish is lazy and his stupidity never goes unnoticed. But at the same time, he's the one that brings all the fun to the show. Patrick is actually a perfect representation of a real-life starfish, and they have no brain, no blood, and can weigh up to 11 pounds. They basically don't do much during their lifetime, but can easily live up to 35 years, which is pretty impressive. So in a sense, if a starfish could speak, we imagine it would have the same characteristics as the wonderful Patrick Star. We totally adore his friendship with SpongeBob, and although the two sometimes do get into fights, Patrick will always come to him for advice. He's voiced by Bill Fagerbakke, who voiced many other animated characters, but none were as fun as Patrick. While Bill doesn't really look anything like Patrick, he was able to truly bring out the best, and sometimes the worst, out of this dim-witted character. But the real star of the show is none other than Patrick's BFF, SpongeBob. You either love him or you really can't stand him. SpongeBob is one of the most unusual characters out there, and it's hard to believe that this show was created by marine biologists who, for some reason, just wanted to bring life to a funny SpongeBob character living in a pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob is one of the most recognizable cartoon characters out there and is known to be Nickelodeon's main mascot. He's childish, but at the same time, he's an adult who has a job and tries really hard to get his driver's license. SpongeBob is a reminder to have some fun in life, whether you're a child or adult. As much as we love this hilarious sponge looking like the actual character, SpongeBob was actually inspired by sea sponges. These creatures grow in all shapes and sizes and can be up to 6 feet long. There is still an ongoing debate whether the sponges are actually plants or animals. Whatever they are, they're nowhere near as fun as SpongeBob. This yellow-looking sponge with square pants and funny personality really stole our hearts and brought an interesting twist to Nickelodeon's cartoons. He's voiced by Tom Kenny, who also gave voice to his pet snail, Gary. While real-life sponges aren't exactly fun to look at, SpongeBob was able to give them a brand new meaning. What's your favorite SpongeBob SquarePants character? Let us know in the comments.